All right, we are in chapter 5 here for our machining fundamentals class. We're going to talk a little bit about things referred to as before and after machining. So so when we have to understand that there is a process that needs to be followed when it comes to machining of things that need to take place both before and after a part has been machined. And that's kind of what everything that goes on here in chapter 5 is all about. So if you've had the CNC fundamentals class, we've kind of started to talk about job travelers or job sheets, what we refer to as a work order. Kind of depends on what company you're working for, how they kind of refer to these as you go. But basically, most shops use these as a way to kind of step by step route the job from start to finish. So, and as you take a look at this particular work order here, you'll see how you've got a sequence number. Here you've got a work order number, the drawing part number, so you've got the different company and dates, what revision, who's kind of issuing it, the customer, and then the operation here as well. Now, in today's manufacturing environment, these paper copies aren't necessarily kept, although if you go to work for a smaller company, it might. But for the most part, most companies have gone with ERP or MRP type of computer systems where all of this is done through a computer where you're scanning in and out of jobs. And a paper copy may still kind of follow along, but not necessarily. But let's take a look at like the process. So you can see here in this particular work order how it starts out by sawing and cutting, and then it goes with additional machining operations or different things that happen at different steps of the process. So, and that's kind of what your work order or your job traveler would have and be all about. And we need to understand that there's a process here that needs to be followed. All right. A lot of these things happen as secondary operations. Now, for the most part, nowadays, most companies are trying to get the CNC machinery to do as much as it possibly can. So they're trying to, but there are times where they are going to want the operators, depending. Nowadays, a operator might be keeping multiple machines running, or if they are only running one machine and have a long cycle time, then they might be doing some other secondary operations in between the cycle time or while that machine is running, or they might be doing some bench work or some other types of things at their workstation to kind of support and keep production going. So here's kind of a basic idea behind this. We'll talk a little bit here as well as far as everything that we're going to be going through here for chapter 5. So, of course, beginning is going to be all about using job planning and work orders that kind of identify everything that needs to be done on that part. And of course, that is all coming from the blueprint. So a skilled individual is looking at the blueprint and planning out how that job or how that part is going to be made from start to finish as it goes through. And that's part of the purpose of the work order. Now, from there, this chapter goes into different types of materials. So there'll be separate videos that are specific on helping you to learn a little bit of the basics on material selection on the job. So goes into different types of sawing. So we cover sawing and the different types of blades and uses of the saw in the cutting tools class. Talks about part finishing, the use of hand tools and hand filing, grinding, wheels and different types of power tools in that regard, as well as your different hand burring tools that would be involved with that. And that's all part of part finishing. Talks about how we would mark the part. Most nowadays, there is a way manufacturers want to make sure that they are able to track parts from start to finish. So we would also be looking at that. So, and making sure that the right things get marked on that part so it can be identified. And then it talks about different types of secondary operations that would be done, not necessarily on the machine. It might be done by an operator while their machine is running, or it might be done at some other workstation altogether. So we're going to start here with these work orders. Now again, as we take a look at our job routing, our work order, it should provide us with a tremendous amount of information. Now, depending on the company, you should be provided with a shop routing or the work order. You should also have a print. You should probably have a tooling sheet and other documentation that goes along with the job that you're about ready to start machining. So make sure that you're looking at your routing. So you're looking to check and make sure is about the date and your part numbers that would go along with the actual drawing number. So you're going to check the revision numbers on that drawing to make sure that it is the most latest revision, or if for whatever reason this part might need to be machined to a previous revision, you're going to make sure that that matches. So you're going to identify the quantity that needs to be machined. So the actual material specifications. So it is very, very important that we are using the right material. So, and then of course the size of that raw material too, and of course the different ways and operations of how we're going to kind of proceed to step this part through the shop floor as well. Now, these, of course, as the shop talk mentions here, so these are kind of minor little things that might seem, but if we overlook those or if we don't pay attention to them, we can kind of lose a lot of profit here, and we can also have things go wrong that would definitely be detrimental to the success of the shop that we're working at, and to our success, personal success as well. So make sure, even though this is not super exciting stuff, make sure that you are paying attention to the details that are in and specified in these work orders and material specifications. So Chapter 5 as a whole, I mentioned it, I will mention this as well. This is not always the most exciting of the machine work that we need to know, but it is very, very important stuff. So you really need to pay attention and make sure that you know and understand all of the aspects that are going on here in Chapter 5.